As you've seen, Barrington Medical can show you the cost savings and benefits to centralized purging, recycling, and destruction of your medical X-ray films. Working with Barrington's experienced team falls into two general categories, which are first coming to agreement over the scope of work to be done, and finally implementing our mutually agreed plan to provide you the maximum rebate with the legal compliance and protection you need. First, our client engagement agreement has a few specific documents, which are the contract. After initial discussions via phone or in person, Barrington will forward you, the client, a master agreement for review and approval by both parties. A binder policy. Once the initial agreement is executed, Barrington will provide insurance documentations to you, the client. The memorandum and survey form. If you have multiple facilities we are serving, the silver reclamation and film destruction form should be completed by each facility. Once forwarded to Barrington, this will serve as an initial site assessment of the current and potential needs of each specific facility. Next is the Barrington Medical Recycling Representative Facility Engagement. This confirms and clarifies provided information and also provides further assessment of facility-specific needs. If a specific facility is already under contract for X-ray film services, Barrington Medical will advise copies of your said contract to be reviewed by facility representatives to confirm terms and avoid any potential financial liability. Site survey and site assessment. It may be determined that a site-specific survey should be performed at the on-site or off-site storage location. This process will not entail any removal of film, but will rather confirm the specific logistics, supplies, staffing, and purge parameters sampling. Next is a facility-specific scope of work. We'll create, for each specific facility, a scope of work document detailing a complete breakdown of the requirements with that facility's staff leadership, which we'll send to the overall project manager as well. Next is the facility purge documentation. Upon approval of the scope of work document, Barrington will finalize a start date coordinating all the activities with the facility leadership. This process will be done professionally and safely with the oversight and guidance of each facility. Upon completion, we will provide a bill of lading to the client showing the inventory of jacket or film being transferred to our custody. At the time of purge, Barrington will issue a receipt for the client inventory to our facilities will be weighed, separated, and processed. We will then provide the client a summary of all gross weights received. Next is a fee advance. Barrington will advance you, the client, any funds provided within the contract terms within 5 calendar days from the date of physical delivery. Last is the documentation of the actual settlement process. Barrington will provide detailed settlement figures to you, the client, within approximately 4 to 5 weeks, along with the proceeds check per the contract terms, along with a legal certificate of destruction referencing the inventory that was destroyed. When it comes to fulfillment of our plan, Barrington Medical delivers with the same integrity and precision and attention to detail as seen in our preparation. Step 1 is the transportation and receiving. Barrington will schedule and arrange the most efficient form of transportation of your scrap films, sludge, and emulsions. The realized savings are then passed to you, our clients. Once the shipments are received, all weights of each box received are given a tracking number, logged into a receiver sheet, and verified against your firm's bill of lading. You will then receive an inventory receipt reflecting accurate weight and measurements prior to refining and destruction. Step 2 is grinding. At this time, each lot is ground into 1/2 inch particle flakes. At this point, the film becomes non-legible from a legal and HIPAA compliance perspective. For further protection, we then take a 5-point thief sample of the film for assay. Each box is then reweighed to get the actual net weights for processing. Barrington provides you HIPAA compliance from end to end and will provide you the documentation needed, including secure destruction certificates. Step 3 is lab analysis. Each lot sample is taken to the lab and run through a riffler to get a composite sample for the analysis of silver content. Barrington will keep a sample which can be sent out for any assay discrepancies. Step 4 is washing and rinsing. At this point, the ground film is put into one of 4 washing vessels and mixed with caustic soda, hot water, and other chemicals for over an hour. This removes the coating and puts the silver into an emulsion state for processing. The washed product is then discharged through the rinse lines, which remove and separate the cleaned PET for further recycling. The emulsions are then sent to several large 10,000-gallon settling tanks. The cleaned PET is run through a dryer and shipped to companies that recycle it for use in fabrics and carpets. Step 5 is settling. The emulsion water mix is tested for pH and chemicals are added to maintain a proper pH balance. Once achieved, polymers are added to precipitate the silver. The water is then recycled several times for conservation and also to help the environment. The silver precipitate is then sent to a filter press for dewatering. The product then becomes a silver cake and is sent to a filter press for drying. Step 6 is roasting. The silver cake is then sent to our smelting facility where it is put into a calciner for roasting. The process drives off any remaining impurities and excess water, and the resulting product is dried ash powder. Finally, step 7 is smelting. The ash is loaded into the smelting furnace with reacting agents for smelting, and after a few hours at nearly 2000 degrees, the raw silver is poured into ingot molds of 100 or 1000 troy ounces for cooling. Once cool, all the silver is put into the vault for storage until we ship the product to silver refiners.